Welcome to the Founders Lounge, where business meets bullshit and everything in between.
Jamie, I'm sorry, man. I love it.
I like the countdown.
I like the kind. It's a lot. I mean, it's
official.
it's a
You know what
one-man
else
crew.
is official? Is that shirt.
Another same brand. I've got about 8 of them.
Mm.
You're going to see about 3 of them across the first 20 episodes. How you doing, man? We both just got done talking that we came in kind of hot into the studio today because of some stuff happening in our own personal
There's something in the air for sure.
It's nuts.
It's only Tuesday, and it feels like Thursday.
And it feels like whatever's in the air, it's been going on now for at least for where I'm at for a couple months, with just people processing differently and holding on to things. I'm just getting analysis paralysis in certain parts, over analyzing.
You hit it right on the head. Analysis by paralysis by analysis. Yes.
Every little move is being scrutinized to the point of death. So what are we talking about? It's a big bitching section.
You just segued right into it, man. That was kind of perfect. Yeah. So we were talking about this the other day, and I thought it would be a great episode. Just common mistakes that emerging franchisors make.
Yeah.
And, I mean, a lot of this, guys, when we say franchisors, you don't have to be a franchise.
Nah.
A lot of these mistakes happen with privately owned businesses, whether it's a onesie, twosie, whatever. But I got probably a half a dozen of them here that I can talk about, and I can actually get into detail on why I think it's a mistake and that people are making them. Right off the bat, the number one I see is not hiring the right support staff sooner. Trying to run too lean, too mean, too long. And you've been around since the early days. Evonne and I did that forever. Probably too long.
You had go-tos, though. I mean, I want to say, no, I don't. I mean, I'm going to push back just a little bit. Yeah, you ran lean, but you had support. It might not have been staff. You had contract support. And then you guys went out and realized this thing's gotten so big, we need day-to-day in addition. See, we see groups that don't have anything. No in-house, no preferred agency, support, ops, whatever. But keep going with it, because this is exactly where...
I guess what I was leaning on more, I guess I should have specified, is in the ops.
Yeah.
Supporting franchisees.
Oh, hell yeah.
If it's a franchise. If you don't have that, you're done before you get started. You cannot come out hot out of the gate, sign 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 locations and not have somebody overseeing the operational end of that. And we did that. No shit, we did it.
No, I saw it.
And it's just looking back, if there was one thing I could go back and fix, it would be that. I would have hired like a director of ops right out of the gate. But we were just so young and dumb. We didn't know any better. And, that just goes back to the integrity brands thing. It's one of the things that I'm trying to teach people not to do.
Yeah.
To learn from that mistake. Another big one for me is recruiting the right franchise partners immediately.
Yeah.
Figuring out whatever that avatar of an owner or whatever that profile of person that you're looking for, get that dialed in before you even turn the switch on. We thought we did. We kind of semi-did, but it was in conversation. We didn't actually sit down and go through a process and say, okay, these are what's important to us. These are not. It was like, hey, you got a passion for fitness and helping people, you're in.
Yeah. I mean, which you don't know what you don't know until you do. And the 2 that you brought up, I know we've got, what'd you say, 2 dozen there? 25? It's a bitch today.
We only got a 30-minute episode.
No, so. Man, but like I want to chime in on the 2 because they aren't mutually exclusive. Like, there's 2 things going on there, man. You're right. Like, not having the right support team in place. And let's be real, man. I'm not a franchise, but I do have an independent business, and you work with the money you have in those early days, and you work again with what you know and don't know. You guys are also cut from a different cloth. You and Evonne would answer phones if you had to. So you could get away with it for a while. Hey, we are your ops team. You're going to talk directly to the owner, the franchisor. And then trying to get enough money to build an ops team, you get hungry. So you just start selling to anyone that fits a very thin persona. So it's like, yeah, they're like Jim and they got X amount of money, equity, they're in. The problem is you're not digging deep enough into the aura of the person, and then they're the ones bitching about the lack of it is a catch-22, and I don't envy you guys for have ever gone through it, but when you're so concentrated on, you said franchise sales organization, FSO, whatever, when the focus is the money and availability of money versus the caliber of what.
Exactly. No, and I mean, I'm not sitting here telling anyone that they should expand outside of their budget or outside of, their means and what they can do, but plan for it.
Is it a matter of expansion or growing, controlled growth?
Controlled growth,
yeah,
for sure. The new what is it? The fancy term or fancy lingo is responsible franchising.
Oh, I'm so sick of this shit.
I've
man.
heard enough of that. It's the
same crap for 3 decades, 4, 5, 6 decades, just repackaged. Just like we said in a previous episode, it's all been done, man.
Yeah,
it's just spinning. But there is there is a value for controlling your growth, obviously, because then you control the growth within too. And we've seen situations. Well, keep going, man. I'll interrupt you.
Well, with that, what marries that is not bending on brand standards or whatever your standard is for your operating system. If you bend on that too soon, too fast, or too many times, you're done. You're never going to get it back. And I mean, I don't think Evonne and I did that, but there are certain things looking back in history that we did that if I had a chance to go back and redo it, I wouldn't have done. We started out doing second-gen locations, and what that is an existing restaurant that we went in and flipped. That's okay, but what I didn't do is go any deeper. I didn't set enough standards that, enough boxes to check, like, it's got to have this type of furniture, it's got to have this type of lighting. You don't have to go through and gut the place and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars remodeling it, but, these boxes do have to be checked. And I understand the reasons why we did it when we did. We wanted to keep it as low cost and as economical as possible without somebody having to go in there and spend that kind of money. But now, just call it 10 years later, I'm still fighting those battles. Now I'm trying to rein it back in and get a little bit more control over the aesthetic look of the places to where, it's they'll come to me and say, well, are you cool with, why do I have to change all of this out? And I'm like, because it doesn't fit brand standards.
Well, they don't see it as, for one, your brand evolves. It's like a vision board, right, man? You guys have vision boards. We have vision boards. My vision board 15 years ago isn't what my vision board is now. So it's normal for you to be like, we're getting closer and closer to what we think we want this to be. But quite frankly, you never really probably get there because you evolve. But what I've seen, to your point, is like, well, why can't we do this? Is like, it's not about you. It's about the other 99% that are going to do it wrong.
Yep.
And it ultimately will impact the continuity of the brand, which will impact you. We've seen it a lot lately where young franchises are giving in to the request of their top performer or performers, right down to people letting franchisees bastardize the logo, change out a logo. I mean, that's insane. Like, not just change it, but like redevelop a logo because, well, guess what? They're making us a lot of money. The problem is that person is now their validator for all the future ones.
Yep.
And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's awesome. Do whatever you want, man. They let me get away with
it just turns into a monkey see, monkey do situation.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had it. We've had owners, people go in and rebrand social media content with like cursive and all kinds of I'm like, what in the F is this?
So what do you do, man? Like, this is, I'm almost like on an interview. Yeah. You guys have never, one, you run it like a family, but you've never been scared to say this isn't the way our family works. Now, I'm coming from an outside perspective where I saw that with you guys. I see that with a lot of the brands we work with, but I've also seen the opposite of that, where it's kind of like the kids run the show because guess what? They're the legacy and we need them for future.
That's just bad leadership and bad conflict resolution.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, how do you give young emerging franchisors to say, hey, man, you have to have some teeth. It's not to be a jerk. It's to control like the brand.
The logo on the wall is the most important thing
man.
Ever. I scream that from the mountaintops.
It's your identity.
Another one is recruiting too many consultants, too many advisors.
Yes, man.
You're laughing because you still work with one of them, which it's okay.
I
won't bust your balls too bad. But I mean, how many freaking consultants and advisors has Evonne and I gone through in 10 years?
it's tricky not to take other people's advice when they've been around people or businesses that you want to aspire to be to. Like I had a call with a franchisor and friend this morning, and I was like, I know everyone's giving you advice on how to run your business, and I'm about to give you some more so you can take it or leave it. And that's how I feel. Everyone wants to tell you how to run your damn business. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Doesn't mean they're right. They just want to tell you how to do it. So how do you filter through the ones to listen to and the ones not, Don? I mean, what's the noise cutter?
For her and I, it's been
Yeah.
trusting our gut, which is, I think, is why we went through so many of them.
Yeah.
Was we would work with one, and we would you just feel it. You're just like, this ain't the right, this ain't me. It just doesn't feel right. So cut them. Time goes by, you meet somebody else. They say all the right things. You know, it's like seeing a hot chick. Then you're just instantly drawn to them, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into bed with them, and then you're like,
and they take out their dentures.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Coyote ugly. They just out of nowhere just flip, and you know they're telling you to make decisions that don't feel right in your gut.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said it, man. Like I think too many of us, myself included,
We just said it on a previous episode. Trusting your gut.
Yeah, but that's a scary thing to do when you've got a lot of people depending on you, and I mean, I admire that, and I try to, but man, let's be real. It's there's not enough weight put into that gut instinct. You're right, 100%. The weight right now, at least from what I've seen, it's hey, so and so that said they worked with this group, they're amazing. So and so did this, it works. So when does it ever come to like, man, is it a fit for me? I can just tell by the persona and conversations this isn't going to work. And I don't know if you ever get there, but don't doubt the gut instinct, man.
Yep. It ain't just, I mean, it's been, I would say in the last year, you know, some of the guys that sit on our board, we've had conversations with for about a year now.
Yeah.
And for the first time, like when they talk, Evonne and I listen. And we take it to heart, and we're like, okay, it's aligning. Like what they're saying is aligning with her and I's core values and our beliefs and our gut instinct. And if you don't feel that, if there's any kind of disconnection there, run.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you've said it. I've brought in, we're learners. We want to learn, man. I'm not this diva asshole that's like, I know everything. If I am, you don't want me as your brand development or marketer. We want to learn, but then again, to your point, there are a lot of people that want to teach that aren't qualified to teach. And it's weeding through that is tricky, especially in franchising. I think there's just so much predatory sales of consultants and vendors, and they just pounce on not even young franchises. You guys have been around a long time. You're still getting lit up by.
It's greed.
Yeah.
They see a hot concept, an emerging brand, and they want a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
And they sell a product or service that they can't deliver on. And they're not all like that. So I don't want to misspeak. So,
but would you say take your time in the selection process? Don't let self-imposed ambition, like I want to grow, so let's just get them in and keep moving. Like that's the one thing I've seen. Like, please, for the love of God, if you're bringing people into the livelihood of your brand, take a little time to figure out if there's people you want them watching your baby. Don't just get them there so you can go out for a night on the town.
For me, it's very simple. The proof is in the pudding. If you can't validate what they've done in the past, or there's no way, like if you can't go and see what this person has helped other people do, that's
a key. But you've seen. Again, I'll say it because I won't even speak for you. I'll speak for myself.
I mean, a lot of this is rudimentary, elementary shit.
Absolutely. But it's easy to be sold on people's past performances, but not have them align that way for you. And it's tricky, but you do have to get a little bit deeper than just like, what's your portfolio look like?
I mean, for me, this might be a little bit off topic, but it does kind of align. Right now, that's my biggest issue with I'll call it, the C-suite level executive employment pool within the food business. I could probably bet on $1 million that it's that way in all industries, really. But I'm in the food business, so this is what I see and I pay attention to all the time. Is these guys, they ask for everything up front. And I'm like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand, like, expecting somebody to give me a piece of their company that they've put all their blood, sweat, and tears in because I think that I'm entitled to it. It doesn't make sense to me. These guys make like
A lot.
300,000 plus
Yeah, they're doing well.
on a small scale. And, then you've got the bonus potential. You've got all these things that are wrapped up into these contracts that cost these companies, at the end of the day, could be potentially millions of dollars. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's a personal thing with me. I'm like, this ain't baseball, damn it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you're definitely.
I'm not signing you to a contract because of what you did for the Yankees. I'm signing you to what you're going to do for me. And then I want to see you do it.
It's earned equity.
Exactly.
That's the whole Integrity Brands. I mean,
that was the whole point of me putting that in the mission statement, the core values of Integrity Brands is earned
in a
equity.
similar respect, I mean, I'm going to piss off a lot of friends that are in digital marketing. And they're not all cut from the same cloth, but there are a lot of big groups out there where it's you pay buku bucks up front to get access to their platform. Other than what they've done with other brands, and then the minute you stop paying it, their platform goes away, your website goes away, your social feeds go away. Like, and I never got why anyone would ever be comfortable taking that leap without ownership of your own assets. And to your point, you bring in a C-suite, and they're going to get a percentage of the business. They're going to get a real healthy salary, and it's just because of what they've done before you. I guess that's how the game's played.
On the flip side, I do understand the mentality of what they have the potential to do. So, like, if you're a company that's looking to exit in a few years or whatever the case may be, if that person, if you're comfortable and think that they can come in, change your unit economics, get you a higher multiple on a sale or an acquisition,
and be a sellable asset.
There's an argument there whether it's worth it.
I agree with you, man.
But there's a line in the sand, and I'm like, I see so many people that I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I see a lot of serial C-suite people. I guess that's my fear. And same with with brand development. You see a lot of people, 1 or 2 years. I get that's kind of like, well, that's about the average time for a succession plan. You get them in, they mess with the ops, you get good unit economics. Maybe they were part of the sale to foresee it after for the year. Still, I'm like, man, there's just not a lot of long-term track record. And and like I see it in marketing too for really good coders and programmers that it's a revolving door. You're lucky, and like you're building your brand around this.
It's wild because I pay attention to all the publications, even though like they're pay to play. Guys, if you didn't know that, they are pay to play.
Yeah, like
you pay money to put print in those things, digital or print. But it'll be, I'll see this PR release. So and so hired a new CEO. Or so, something like that, right?
It's the first line of business.
18 months later, hey, so-and-so hired a new executive CEO or whatever. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's crazy. It's, I mean, I guess the only thing you say is it's common trait, but is it helpful? And you're right, man. And there's definitely, this is not a one-size-fits-all evaluation of, I mean, there's a need to have higher level experience.
No, absolutely.
Like, I'm not sitting here to bash because I got a lot of friends, you guys that have businesses, and they had wonderful luck in certain cases bringing in executive level. It's just, it's the 60 to 70% that aren't so wonderful that it makes you wonder, man. Like, and it's a very easy thing to fall into early on in a franchise.
Another common mistake, expanding out too fast. And I'll explain. So, Evonne and I started here in Wilmington, and we made the commitment that we weren't going outside of the Carolinas, Georgia, or Florida the first 2 years, and we didn't. But I see a lot of people, they'll franchise their brand. Next thing you know, they've got a location out in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they're based in Boston or something. And I'm like, why would you do that? You're not going to be able to support it. Supply chain's going to suck. They're in a desert. You have no brand awareness. I mean, I can keep going for days on the reasons why not to do this, but those are the biggest ones. And I see a lot of people making that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's where the candidate buyer was, so that's where they.
Right.
I think it's your responsibility. When I say I say like collectively, and even as the marketer and the brand, it's our responsibility to educate the buyer, the candidate, like why, whether they think it's a good idea or not to put it there. It isn't. um, if you're looking to grow and scale sustainably, like that's what you would do, especially on those first couple.
Last one I got, man, is having insufficient operating systems. Now, this one's kind of a back and forth, and I can talk out of both sides of my mouth on this one. Early on, Evonne and I didn't have a damn thing. Nothing. As most of them don't. The problem is getting the information in somebody's head down on paper and then putting it into a procedure. We went through it. Everybody does. It's common. But not expanding on that, not building on that in a time-efficient manner so when it's needed is crucial. Absolutely crucial. We're working on that with Den right now.
Yeah.
Before he launches TAP. Just trying to get him to get everything in his little noodle down into a system to where he can teach it and package it up and to where anyone can do it. You can teach a 9-year-old how to do it. I think that's another critical mistake that people make is not having the foundation built before they start framing up the house.
Yeah, I mean, and I see it in a lot of the cases, at least our involvement, the concepts have been there at least for 5 years. They were family owned, corporate, whatever. Some of them 20 before they decide to franchise, and they forget what that first year looked like on there. So they just assume.
You talking about for us?
For a lot of the brands I've worked with, it's like not you guys. I'm saying brands.
Oh, the same thing. I mean,
right? Because we've worked with brands that are 15 years old, and they're like, oh, it'll just carry right over into a new market the way it is now for us. They have no documentation of how they got. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, systemize, document. It's almost a diary at that point, but it can be utilized by the newbie.
I mean, it's a running joke in our system now. The ones that have been around forever know that in the beginning, Evonne used to text a picture. Not even kidding. She would write out the weekly meal or the weekly meals. No instructions, no nothing. And back then, when we were still competing when we franchised, so it was like bro science on the macros, right? I'm the one that did the macros for the meals. And she would write these down on a piece of notebook paper and text them. I think we had 6 or 7 locations.
Yeah.
And it was a picture. No instructions. No nothing.
It's so podunk.
And then I think she would I don't remember if she actually like took a picture of the meal and then sent it out with all the info on it. But it was so janky in the beginning. And then we finally graduated to a spreadsheet. Then we graduated into having a dashboard. Like the operating system, as I just said, it's expanded and evolved, and that's fine. But looking back, man, we should have.
I mean, hell, you guys used to blast emails out like one-offs, like just contact lists, not even like a system, the distribution software. Like, look at, I mean, your email, your weekly meal plan is a big part of the lifeblood of your system, right? But that used to be, I remember you guys saying like we would just have a list of people and randomly, but that's like what I guess this goes full circle back, like what you are doing today and your vision in terms of what's our SOPs, what's the store look like. There's no way you could have predicted what it was going to look like back then. You just knew the moment.
No, I'm not saying that we could have predicted it or we could have planned for it. I just think looking back, I wish we would have taken a step back and saying, okay, we need to systemize this a little bit. But her and I, like you said it a minute ago, her and I we're wired differently. Yeah. We're gonna go 1,000 miles an hour, fuck it up 5 times, and then learn from it, and then fix it along the way.
Yeah, and
sometimes that's not always the best route to go, and I'm not promoting that. By all means,
you have to
don't,
be a
don't
certain
do
caliber
that.
person that is okay with that. Like that's the thing. Like, and I'll say the one thing that it just kind of plays off. It's flipped the coin on its head. One piece of advice, because I don't own a franchise. I work with franchises. I've worked with you guys as friends, family, and colleagues for a long time. And you've done a really good job at avoiding this, but I've seen it with other brands where you let that person with corporate experience, nothing wrong. If they're a good fit, they buy in, but you let them intimidate you into thinking you should have what they just came from. You're not going to. Like, they are not buying your support team. They're not. I mean, great that they worked for Clorox. Guess what? You work for a 5-unit place now. So it is not, you're not coming into the same system. But I've seen a lot of franchisors give away their soul trying to satisfy that expectation, and it's just unachievable at the stage of their journey.
We still get it now. At 11
Yeah,
years now,
I guess you always will, but
we still get the person that, worked for a large national media company.
Why aren't we doing it this way?
Or why aren't we doing it this
there,
way? Your marketing's all wrong. This is what we did here. Well, that's great.
When I was on Amazon, our algorithm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We sold toothpaste.
Yeah.
We're selling food.
But let me ask you, though, like, I guess there's probably like a breath of fresh air in that. It's like, listen, that's human nature. People are always going to come in and try to reinvent. That's to be expected. The difference is going to be how you react to it. Yep. And that's what I'm talking about is like, you can fight for that logo on the wall tastefully, or you can succumb and give in to these folks because you're impressed with their experience. And guess what? At least for now, they're your top earner. So why would you tell them no? Well, come back in 10 and you'll find out why. So
I'm not even going to go down that wormhole because I think that's
trying
the
to
next
bait
episode.
You into it. Yeah, I wanted to see you lose your top, man.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you got a little bit of nugget out of, or a little bit of
something,
something out of that.
Yeah.
Those are some common mistakes that I see that can be fixed before they happen. That obviously we've dealt with, and we've had that experience ourselves. So hopefully it helped. And until next week.
Keep on keeping on.